Welcome to Big Al's House of Munch. I'm Chef Alec, and today I'm going to show you how to make matzo ball soup in honor of Passover. Since Passover is this week, I thought it'd be a really great idea to show you guys how to make matzo ball soup from scratch. Matzo ball soup has a special place in my heart. My grandmother used to make it for me all the time, and I love to make it, especially around Passover and whenever I'm feeling a little sick. Some tools you might find useful today are a food processor, two mixing bowls, a cutting board, a sharp knife, and we've got some chicken stock behind me right now that's going. I made the chicken stock last night. What I did is I took a rotisserie chicken, cut off most of the meat, put it in a stock pot with some water, brought it to a simmer, and simmered it for about 8 hours. You can also make this recipe with store-bought chicken stock, or you can use any other kind of broth that you find necessary to make your soup. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's get our prep deck opened up and let's get started. Now, we've got some ingredients here. We'll start with our spices and herbs. We've got about a teaspoon of salt. We've got about a half teaspoon of baking powder. And we've got about a teaspoon of black pepper. We have got 4 eggs. We have got about 3 sheets of matzah, about 2 cups of mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery diced. We've got some fresh dill, and we've also got some seltzer and some olive oil. First things first, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our food processor right over here, and we are going to drop our matzah in the food processor underneath. Give it a quick flip. What we're doing is we are going to make matzah meal. So we are actually going to pulse it and blend it until it is super fine. It's about getting there. A little bit more and we'll be there. Sorry it's so loud. All right, great. Gonna move our food processor back over. Be careful when taking out the blade. You don't want to cut yourself. And we're going to transfer that meal or ground matzah back into its container. Good. Should get us about a cup. And we've got about a cup. Good. What we're going to do next is we're going to take this large mixing bowl. We're going to add all our wet ingredients. We're going to take our eggs first. Grab a small whisk and whisk your eggs together. Good. Make sure the eggs are nice and blended. After we whisk our eggs together, we're going to grab our 2 wet ingredients. We're going to grab the seltzer, and we're going to grab our oil. Oh, a little slippery. Come on. Throw those in there. Whisk those all together. Don't whisk too hard because we do have seltzer. It is carbonated. We want it to keep some of that carbonation. So just until blended. Move that over to the side. We're going to grab a smaller bowl. We're going to take our matzah meal. We're going to take our salt, our baking powder, and our black pepper. Mix those all together. Good. And then we are going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. And what we're actually going to do is grab a little bit more matzah. It's looking a little wet. You might want to add that 4th sheet of matzah. So let's go grab that real quick. Move that out of the way. Bring our food processor back over. Drop our blade. Just to be safe, we're going to add another sheet on top of that. Fix our top. Oh, almost there. Bring our wet ingredients back over. So that brings our total to 5 sheets of matzah. Blend that together. Nice. See, now we've got a nice, good, consistent dough coming in. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And then after it's in the fridge for about 30 minutes, we'll get started on the poaching process. Great. See you soon. All right, so we have our matzo ball mix right over here. As you can see, it's a little thick, but not too thick. We're going to grab another bowl because we're going to start rolling matzo balls. The matzo ball mix can get a little sticky, so you want your hands to be a little bit wet while you do this. We're going to grab a tiny little bit to roll about a 1-inch ball. And we're going to drop that in our bowl. We're going to do this. Hopefully we get about 8 to 10 matzo balls from this. We want to serve about 2 to 3 per bowl, and we're looking to make about 4 servings here. So we'll continually roll, and as your hands become increasingly sticky, you may want to hit them with a little bit more water again, just to make sure they're not too sticky. So I'm going to go back over to the sink, give myself a quick wash. Don't want them to be too wet. Coming back to the bowl. Nice 1-inch matzo balls. My grandmother taught me how to roll matzo balls. Taught me how to make them. My grandmother taught me a lot when it comes to the kitchen. She's actually the reason why I became a chef. So matzo balls definitely remind me of her and make me think of her. So I hope she's doing well today. All right, last one. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but we've got them rolled. Wash my hands real quick. And as you can see, got some really nice matzo balls right there. So we're going to head over to the stock pot, and we're going to get these poached. All right, coming over to the stock pot, we've got our matzo balls right here. We've got our water going. Not our water, stock. This is chicken stock. We want to make sure that it is never coming to a boil and staying just under a simmer. We call this poaching temperature, about 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. We should have a nice steam coming off the top. What we're going to do is we're going to take our matzo balls, refine them real quick, and give them a drop. They might sink at first, but slowly as they cook, they will come together. Oh, looking like our matzo balls don't really want to stay balls. So we'll give them a drop. As they begin to cook, the egg will begin to cook on the inside, and we should begin to see them start to float. But like I said, these could take anywhere between 30 minutes to 1 hour. So we want to let them go low and slow. And slowly but surely they will come together. We don't want to touch or adjust them. We just want to drop them in the water. And as they hit the water, they will begin to cook. We're going to cover those after we wash our hands. Look at that. Some of them are starting to float already. They float because the egg is cooking. It'll make them light and fluffy. We want them light and fluffy. You don't want to mess with them too much because you don't want to break them apart. But these look like they're coming together great. So we'll let them go. We're going to grab a lid. And we'll let these cook for about 30 minutes. All right, so it has been about 30 minutes. We have transferred our matzo balls into a smaller pot because we are going to use our larger pot to make a quick stock base. Now, how we're going to do that is we are going to take about 2/3 of those dill sprigs that we had. Oh, come on. And we're going to drop those into the pot, bring it to a boil. We're going to let that boil while we cook off our mirepoix. What we're going to do, we're going to drop about a tablespoon of oil into the pan. We'll get the pan coated. While that oil's heating up, let's take a look at one of our matzo balls to show you what it looks like when it's done. We're going to take it over to the cutting board right here. Oh, dropped a little water, that's okay. We're going to cut that matzo ball in half, and I'm going to show that to the camera nice and right. So, as you can see, the matzo ball has a really, really nice grain structure. It's nice and fluffy, should be holding a little bit of liquid. That's good. We're going to move that back into a stock pot. Get a quick wipe down on that cutting board. Again, the oil's still heating, so we're going to get our plate. And we're going to make this look nice and pretty. Oil's starting to smoke just a little bit. That's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to drop our mirepoix. Good. And let's get it coated in some oil because we want to cook it just until it's tender. Again, we're just holding our matzo balls, keeping them warm. We want to have a little bit of crunch left in our vegetable. We don't want super soggy vegetables in our soup, which is why we didn't cook them in our stock pot, but our stock pot is starting to come up to a boil. We're going to keep sauteing the veg. Right here, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little tiny ring mold and take some scoops of our mirepoix into the ring mold. We want them close to the edge because we're going to do a nice little plate up right here. We're going to do this 3 times. So again, a nice even scoop of mirepoix into the ring mold. Press it down. One more time. Nice even scoop into the ring mold. Press it down. Got a little triangle going right there. We're going to grab a nice big matzo ball, drain some of that excess liquid. And we are going to do a drop in the middle. Then we're going to take a fresh dill sprig, not too long. Going to drop it over the top. We've got our boiling stock right here. Bring our plate over. Grab a nice spoon. Nice, easy pours. And voila, we've got a beautiful bowl of matzo ball soup. So let's go have a taste. Wow. Sometimes when I cook from my grandmother's recipes, I can almost replicate it exactly the way she did, and it just makes me feel so good. This is going to be wonderful for my dinner tonight. Look at that. Perfect matzo ball, perfect broth. Thank you so much for joining us today. Want to wish you all a very happy Passover. And if you make some matzo ball soup tonight, send me a picture. I'd love to see your plate up. Have a great day.